Hi, I'm Melissa Price Kromm, Director of the North Carolina Voters for Clean Elections. Here we go again. The North Carolina legislature, again, is passing redistricting maps that try to rig the outcome of elections and hurt voters, and that could even wind up in front of our courts. In fact, a lawsuit has already been filed. The democratic process was blown to make way for partisan politics and to quash the voices of North Carolinians. Central to the complaint that was filed by the NAACP and Common Cause NC is the legislature's refusal to include racial data in its redistricting criteria in order to implement a so-called race-neutral process. The Voting Rights Act requires that the legislatures use racial data when determining levels of racially polarized voting before drawing districts. By excluding this data, the plaintiffs say the legislature made it impossible to assess the need for VRA districts, in clear violation of the North Carolina Constitution and the North Carolina Supreme Court in the Stevenson v. Bartlett decision in 2003. State law requires that lawmakers first draw districts that comply with the VRA, which is impossible to do without considering race. The North Carolina Supreme Court clearly said the legislature has a duty to draw districts that do not dilute Black voices. It is impossible to determine whether these voting districts comply with the VRA without looking at racial data. When you have a history of drawing racially gerrymandered, unconstitutional districts, you might want to make sure you're not doing that again. But clearly, the current legislative leadership is allergic to acting in good faith or even following the law. This legislative leadership doesn't want to be honest and transparent because they are trying to cripple the democratic process behind closed doors. Now, the courts have made it clear that racial gerrymandering is unconstitutional in North Carolina. In order to avoid illegal map rigging yet again, the redistricting process has got to change. Bottom line, it's clear we need to take partisan politics out of the redistricting process. We need to enact lasting reform that ultimately takes the redistricting power out of the hands of the politicians and entrust it in a nonpartisan citizen commission that will draw our voting maps without racial or even partisan gerrymandering. We need to ensure that voters choose their elected officials instead of politicians choosing their voters. Thank you.